All right, here we have GoSu.dde, who is a person that I'm very familiar with from casting all through the last couple of years. He's been on a couple of different teams. Six Jacks is one that maybe some StarCraft 2 fans don't even know what that is because they're too new. But DDE is a very consistent Terran. He has kind of sometimes trouble staying focused on StarCraft 2. He likes to play Storm of the Imperial Sanctum a lot, but but it's okay because he's still really, really good at StarCraft 2. And here he is, the blue Terran up in the top right of Whirlwind. Over here we have Wrath from Fusion Esports. He's the purple Terran in the top left.
That's right, and I still maintain that DD is the only pro gamer I've ever beat. At StarJeweled.
At StarJeweled.
Yeah!
Anyway. I have a long list of pros that I've beat at StarJeweled.
That's true.
Including Dongregu.
You do win at StarJeweled.
Yes.
I will say. So. Well, we'll see what both these guys can bring to the table here, as it is, like we mentioned, Fusion Esports going up here. And I'm not too familiar with their players, but we'll see what they're going to offer. Gas first now for DDE. Whirlwind is, of course, a very large map, but TVT doesn't necessarily care about how big the map is. If you're going to make Cloak Banshees or do some sort of a Hellion Marine drop at the beginning of the game, you're going to do that one way or another.
Yeah, that's really...
I mean, it doesn't matter if the map's any bigger or
just
not.
Just do it. Just get it over with, kill some SCVs. But
Command Center first for Wrath, though.
That is interesting. Okay, so if DDE does go a bit quicker tech.
I'm sorry, I don't usually read the Observer chat, but Captain Waffle saying Avilo's not playing, so it shouldn't take 4 hours. So, LOL.
Apparently they're talking about a match with Legion a little bit later on, but Avilo, obviously notorious for extremely long Terran play, not just in TVT, but in all matches. But Avilo, we have a soft spot for Avilo. Obviously, he comes and plays in our tournaments, and we're very appreciative of any players who play in all of our events. So thanks, Avilo, for playing. And he also played in our Yield map tournament and showed us some stunning Terran play.
And Avila, you know what? Sent in a caster application as well for our community casters. And honest to God, was one of the best people we got in our finalists, and someone that I'd still like to have cast for us on a regular basis. He's a really cool guy. So.
Yep. So sorry for the rant on Avilo, but he's been around since the beta too. So it's just lots of history with Avilo, playing really, really long games and dropping a lot of nukes and making a lot of tanks.
True.
Anyway,
all those things.
So these Terran players, no nukes, no tanks on the field yet. Avilo also played on maps like Steps of War, though. So this things
found
have
a way
changed.
to make games on Steps of War go like an hour too.
Yeah,
so
impossibly able to do stuff like that, but. We do have a starport already coming up for DDE, and it looks like Wrath is still getting like a barracks up, man. This could be really dangerous for him. He will have 2 orbitals worth of scans, but if he has no units to actually stop Banshees, this could be really rough for him.
All right, so let's see here now as DDE floating back there and going to transition this starport, presumably on top of the tech lab here in a second. Only on 1 gas, though, so it looks like it's going to be Banshees the Uncloaked variety, if that's going to be the case. And sending out that first Hellion now.
Yep, and at the front line of Wrath, he really only has a couple of Marines. The orbital commands did finish, so he's now able to make 2 SCVs at a time. Obviously, can use those mule drops as well, so his economy is going to gain a nice bump, but it could be dangerous if this Hellion manages to get past those first fighting forces. He is actually testing the front. There is that bunker there, though, and it looks like actually Wrath may have just scouted with an SCV and lost it as well. I saw a purple dot moving over there and got stopped just where those forces were. Yeah, so no SCV scout successful there for Wrath. DDE's Banshee play is still hidden at this point.
Yeah, and DDE's moving over to Tank Banshee Marine for now. It is a very powerful attack force, almost entirely DPS, so not a lot of healing behind it, kind of a brute force punch. Now, if he decides to play for the longer term, though, if this isn't just going to be a big 2-base attack relatively unupgraded, then, of course, he'll eventually include medevacs. He'll go up to some bio upgrades and things like that, but DDE has the potential to hit pretty hard pretty soon. Yep,
and DDE, actually, I'm just remembering now, the Complexity Gaming... so he scans and misses the starport completely. That's not very helpful. The Banshee will be showing up. There's no turrets or anything, but there is a line of Marines, at least, to help prevent this Banshee from doing too much damage. Let's see how... yeah, he's just going to be really cautious here. You can kite with Banshees, sort of, but you're still going to take a lot of damage. So you can see him grabbing a couple of kills there, still taking some damage on the Banshee. Not going to be able to kill that SCV yet. He's baiting the Marines around because he knows that Banshees can kite pretty well. It's just a matter of getting there out of there in time, because the way the acceleration and deceleration of Terran air units works, it can be a little tricky sometimes, but there's no stim on these Marines yet, so they are still just chasing really slowly, and he can try to pick at him as much as he can while still building up that ground force.
The Banshee's taken 5 kills now, but of course DDE looks like 3 workers killed the entire game, but you know, he did start down a base to begin with, wanted to be able to inflict some economic damage, and hasn't done a ton of that yet, so he's back in workers and just now establishing his second base.
Yep, so his second base is up and running now, like you said. He's got 2 Banshees in the air. He's got actually tanks starting to roll out now. His position is getting more solid as we go on here. SCV kills obviously adding to that advantage.
There we go.
All the Marines had left and gone to the front line there, probably expecting some Hellions or something, but I'm not sure what caused the lag, but these SCVs are still under heavy fire from the Banshees. Only a couple of Marines here, actually. If DDE just turns and kills those, that would actually be another nice pickup for him while all the forces are a little bit split. 12 workers killed already for DDE, and things are already starting to go south for Wrath. Let's see what he's got in the pipeline. He's got Stim plus, what is that, just +1? Sometimes I get confused, +1 and +2.
Yeah, just
blue
+1.
Blue
and he's
and
actually
teal.
faking Cloak at the moment. He has Caduceus Reactor coming up, but now that Combat Shields is done, it takes 3 hits from Banshees to be able to kill a Marine, so the 2 Banshees alone aren't going to be enough. This Banshee snuck through and killed 1 more SCV, or 1 more Marine, it looks like actually was sitting on the side, so 14 workers killed in total, and now DD does have an economic advantage, so the risk to go after Banshee is certainly paying off.
Yeah, he's got 3 Banshees in the air, 2 tanks, and a bunch of Marines on the ground, and here they're starting to stream across. If he uses the Banshees to try to pull the Marines' attention back to the main mineral line, for example, he can use those tanks and Marines to bust down the front, or he can just combine them all into one big force, which is what it looks like he wants to do now. These Banshees just mow through these Marines, and 2 of the Banshees are getting in really low red health there, but wow, that's all he has is Marines defending here. This could be really tough, especially with siege mode already completed.
Yeah, especially these SCVs can start to be targeted here in a second. So the Marines being pulled forward, and they would explode very quickly if they got any closer there. So that's not the situation, of course, that Fusion wants to be in at the moment. But yeah, there goes the bunker, and now the forces are starting to brute force their way right up the front. This is a really bad situation for Wrath.
Yeah, getting pulled into that siege tank fire, of course, is never good. You can see all those squishy units there. If DDE just continues to siege leapfrog with his Marines and Banshees taking point and the siege tanks moving in behind, he can continue to assault this natural while continuing to mine efficiently. There's no counterattack here from Wrath. He's basically got to defend this.
Yeah, DDE just slow playing this really, really well. Now he's in a position where he'll be able to directly assault this orbital command, and it's going to force Wrath's hand a little bit here. Looks like he is going to charge into the stim. He is done, making his way up, but there's still 3 tanks left in his forces, largely getting torched. Only a couple of Marines left over for DDE, though, so there is a potential. It doesn't even matter, though. Third 3 supply, and that's it. GG from Wrath.
Yep, and right there at the